How come the earth created the most feared, ruthless, and iron-fisted man and makes him to rule the most wealthiest country in the world? This is 1979, the story of Saddam Hussein. His childhood was destined to destroy children by famine, and his adulthood was destined to wipe out adult of Iraq by war and dictatorship. Saddam was born on April 28, 1937 in the village of Al-Khuld. The life he had as a child was full of poverty, trauma and ambition. He struggled with his education, so learning was never his option out of harsh rural life in Iraq. He moved to his uncle to Baghdad by the age of 10. His uncle had ideal principle of Arab nationalism and anti-imperialism. Saddam's child mind was shaped and influenced by the idea of his uncle, and those ideas would cost Iraq a lot of things. In 1979, the newly appointed president has called his fellow party members to a meeting in a local theater hall in Baghdad. And as you guessed, his name was Saddam Hussein. He's only been a president for a little under a week now, but Iraq is his, and he wants everyone to know. It's July and the temperature outside is pushing 40 degrees Celsius. The hall is hot, blisteringly hot. As Saddam takes the stage, he takes his time, shuffles a few papers, looks at his nose. Shortly before the newly appointed president arrived, one of his men appeared on stage. A terrible plot against the president and against Iraq has been uncovered, he informed the crowd. A group of high-ranking party members has conspired to remove Saddam Hussein from his power. And then he revealed all the guilty parties are in this room right now. The crowd sits frozen in silence. The president is in total control. Then Saddam calls a man to stage, and a tall, slender, middle-aged man starts walking down the aisle. He walks up onto the stage and stands behind the microphone. And then, slowly he begins confessing to crimes of wanting to overthrow Saddam Hussein. I was the one behind the plot against the newly president, the man says. It was me who tried getting others to join in. But it's a lie. Nothing of what he admits on stage is true. What really happened is that he's been thoroughly tortured and told that if he doesn't go up on the stage and say that he planned the plot against Saddam, they will torture his wife and his daughter right in front of him. He has no choice but to obey, and so he does. Once he finished, Saddam takes the floor. Again, Saddam is in no rush. He lights his cigarette, then he asks out in the room what means should be used against traitors. You know the answers, he says. After a pause, there is no other way than a sword. The terrified party member in the theater hall begins to clap desperately. What else could they do? Saddam then gives an instruction to those assembled in the hall. When I read out your name, you shall stand up, recite the party slogan, and leave the room. And so he begins reading out names one by one. They must rise up from their seats, say the slogan, and then they are led out of the room. They haven't been told where they are going or what is waiting for them on the other side of the door, but they probably have an idea. Most of the people thought reluctantly do as they told. One man, however, is clearly confused at his name being called. He says, "Me? I haven't done anything," he shouts as he stands up. Saddam doesn't even bother to look at him, because in his mind, he already knows his fate. He just coolly repeat, "When I have read out your name, you shall stand up, recite the party slogan, and leave the room," and then nothing. The man just lowers his head and shuffles out of the room. He smiles and thanks those remaining in the hall for their loyalty. And then everyone stands up and once again begin a desperate standing ovation relief. Some even begin to pray outside the hall. All the people whose names Saddam has called out are gathered in trucks and driven to prison. In the following days, 6 days trials are held, and 22 men, including 5 members of the Revolutionary Command Council, are sentenced to death.